today I'm just going to take the questions which have come in from all of you, and I'll do my best to answer all of them as well as I can. That I'm doing this workshop because a lot of times people ask me casual questions, like especially when they want to work on their first novel, or what is the process of novel writing like, what are the things to watch out for. So I'm used to giving casual advice to people, but I'm glad that through this forum we can actually now have a very structured discussion on this, and hopefully for all of you writers out here, I can help out in the journey and help you start up and avoid the mistakes that people usually make, and make sure that you get all the advantages as well.
Okay, hi everyone, good evening. Welcome to the first episode of Ask Us Anything about writing. I'm Parak and from Script Nights. I welcome every one of you. Today we have a very special guest, and I've known this person for a very long time. He is from FTII, he did screenwriting course from there, but he's not just a screenwriter. He wrote for many popular television series, right from Arjun, Gumrah, Webbed for MTV, dance series, and he's also written 3 books published by HarperCollins. So he's both an accomplished screenwriter as well as an accomplished author. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be a great mentor and great teacher. Episode of Ask Us Anything about writing.
One of the questions which I was asked was, how do you get a perfect idea for writing a novel? You don't. There's no such thing as a perfect idea. And if you don't believe me, then just try to think of any perfect story you've read or seen in a movie or in a book, and then go to Goodreads.com if you are into books, or go to Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb, and I guarantee you there will be at least one person saying that this was the worst thing he or she ever read or he or she ever saw. Because there is no such thing as perfection in storytelling. There's no such thing as a perfect story. Perfection is very subjective. So I would say that if you're going for a good story for a novel, go for relatable, not for perfect. And when I say relatable, I mean that you need to look at yourself as a reader and see that what is it that excites you as a reader. It could be that you are perhaps into a particular genre. Perhaps you're into thrillers. You really enjoy reading thrillers. You would love to see a thriller like the one in your head right now. That is the perfect judge. Like, how relatable, how is the story to you as a reader? First, make yourself happy. First, make yourself excited as a reader, and then go for that story, rather than thinking that what is the perfect idea, or what is an idea that everyone will like around me or everyone in the market will like, because that doesn't exist. So just be honest with yourself. Also, the reason why I avoid thinking of the market when you're beginning with your first book is because the market changes frequently. Like, for instance, suppose right now horror is trending. I'm just saying, hypothetically. And you think that, let me just write a horror novel. I'm not that much into the genre, but it's doing very well right now. So the chances of me getting published might be higher if I write a novel based on horror, because that's the thing right now. Now the catch is that today you start writing, suppose, and even if you're very productive, very constructive, and suppose it takes you 6 months to complete the novel, and suppose a traditional publisher takes the novel from you and says that I will publish it. From the moment that a traditional publisher says yes to you, whether it's HarperCollins or Penguin or whatever, to the point when the novel comes into the market, it's a 1 year gap in between. It takes a year for your book to come out after being accepted by a publisher, because they have their own backlist of releases which they have to go through. So suppose if you are like, oh, this is trending right now. So by the way, from the time right now when you're deciding to write it to the time when your book will come out, it could be 1.5 to 2 years. So how much, you can just imagine how much the market will change in that time. So don't go by the market. Go by what you want to tell. Go by what you want to read, and make that the foundation of your idea. Also, one very important thing for writers who are beginning on this journey is to read. Like, I cannot emphasize this enough. And by reading, I don't mean reading online articles and reading just tips about how to write a novel. I mean reading novels in the genre or the category that you are writing. For instance, if you're writing fantasy fiction, look at what's trending and look at what's popular in the market. Look at the evergreen stuff. Look at the latest stuff. Read as much as you can, not to copy or be similar to it, but because the more you read, the more you get a sense of, what this world is like. So if you're into thrillers and you see the classics which are going on right now, you see how much it has evolved as a craft. That is very important, because when you read, you don't just absorb the story, you also absorb the craft of it subconsciously. I feel like you are in that zone. And that's why if I'm working on a script right now, or if I'm working on a web series or a book, what I do is I avoid all other influences as much as I can. I don't go about watching every other series on Netflix. I just try to watch the stuff that is relevant to what I am writing right now, because that's the zone I want to be in. So do that. Like, if you can watch movies as well, but I would suggest that if you want to be a novelist, you have to read novels, because watching a Harry Potter adaptation and reading a Harry Potter book are not the same thing. Trust me. You have to look at the way the author plays with words. You have to look at the way in which your interest is kept on every page and every sentence. It's so easy to put a book down, right? But you don't for some reason. What is that magic? You need to discover that. So read as much as you can. That's a very vital tool. And Google Baba is always there in case you want to know what are the different books that you can read in your genre, or you want to do any other research. For instance, if you're writing a fantasy novel or a historical novel set in a particular period, you can always, nowadays there are so many research materials available online that you can go through. So that's a good option. And we're going to a little moral territory right now, but the two other important tools that writers need most of all is A, self-discipline, and B, patience. Without discipline, nothing is possible. And in writing, that's very important. Like, I know it's very tempting to think that, in this movie, I saw that this particular writer was going through a creative angst. So, he just drank and, waited for inspiration to come, and one day inspiration came and he made it. But real life is not that glamorous. And every writer out there who has a book right now stuck to it, and he followed a routine. So, and that is why that book is out and not just in his head waiting for inspiration. And patience, yes. It's not like you're going to start today and end tomorrow, right? Or by next week or next month. You have to be patient with the process. You can't just think कि आज का दिन मेरा बुरा गया writing में, so maybe this is not for me. You have to stick it out. How did you publish your first novel? This is interesting. Like I said, I was in the middle of a very high deadline season, and I had also made a resolution to myself that I'm going to complete my first book no matter what it takes. So I got an idea. It was in the form of one visual in front of me, and that visual was just of a guy lying across the railway tracks. And something about it stuck with me, and I just started going into it. And after that promise, I made it a point. Now this is where self-discipline comes in, that despite my deadline pressures, I made it a point to write every day. I didn't care if I was writing for an hour or half an hour or 2 hours, or if I was writing one line or one page. I just kept at it every single day, and I didn't tell anyone about it. So that might also be another helpful advice. Don't tell people that you're writing a book, because then you get all sorts of gyan. And in the beginning, each one of us is vulnerable, right? We are all anyway dealing with a lot of stuff. So keep it to yourself and impress yourself every day by writing a little bit every day. That's the thing about it. So it took me around a year to complete it, and my agent pitched it to around, I think, 7-8 publishers, all the major publishers. And we got offers from 6 publishers, including HarperCollins. And finally, we went with HarperCollins, and my agent was very helpful during this phase, because he helped me figure out the terms and conditions, and he helped me out with the comparative analysis of different publishers as well, and how to choose and what to expect. So yeah, having an agent really helped out. And like I said, about a year after I got a yes from HarperCollins, the book came out on 15 July 2015. And yeah, 1st July 2015, sorry. So yeah, that's how my journey began of my first book. We'll now move on to our next question: how to start writing. You sit down at a desk, you face your laptop or your notebook, and yeah, that's it. It's as simple as that. How to start writing. And the reason why I'm saying it in such a simple way is because people have a habit of complicating stuff. They have this thing that I'm waiting for the right zone, I'm waiting for the right time, I'm waiting for the right thing. And we are just not able to accept the fact that the most difficult part about writing is taking that first step and actually putting words down on paper. And there are so many people I have met who told me like, I'm planning to write my own book. I'm planning to write a novel. And I was like, that's great. You should go for it. Go for it completely. And 1 or 2 years later, they were still planning to write the book. So, and it's not their fault. It's a very normal human tendency, that when you're going into something unfamiliar or uncomfortable, the first thing you try to do is to think of the reasons why you shouldn't take the first step. So, and as far as I'm concerned, I think it was very difficult for me to begin as well when I was first starting on my novel. So I was like, why? I mean, I have a scriptwriting career, everything is fine, everything is stable. Why should I go into this thing? What if I fail? What if I quit midway, So that fear of failure, that fear of sucking in your first draft, that fear of your first draft being so bad that it depresses you, it's within each one of us. But try to not ignore that voice, because you can't. Each one of us have it. Try to embrace that voice and use it to challenge yourself. I remember when I was constantly thinking of writing my first novel, I was like, I used to be a very, avid reader. I used to read a lot. And there were some books that I didn't like at all by first-time authors, for instance. So I would be like, this novel, this book mein ye kharab hai thi, this book mein wo kharab hai thi. How was it written? Grammatical mistakes. Climax was so bad. But then there was also part of me which was like, at least that guy completed it, At least he did it. What have you done? What have you done other than criticize and, find flaws? So that voice was the thing which pushed me to do it. It was like, you know what, at least try, dude. What's the worst that will happen? So my first novel, I didn't tell anyone I'm writing it. And I had a career, by the way. I was working for a TV show for the Thriller, and I had to submit episodes like every week. And in TV, if you don't submit your episodes on time, it doesn't get shot. So that's the pressure you're dealing with. So in the middle of that, I just made a promise to myself that I'm going to try it. I'm going to once I had an idea in my head, I was like, I'm just going to stick with it and I'm going to write a little bit every day. The best way to begin is to begin. Don't be worried about it not being the next War and Peace or the next Pride and Prejudice. That's how it starts. Like every novel starts as a decent or a bad or a average first draft, and then it evolves. Also, get over your fear of rejection, because a lot of people feel that I'm going to invest so much time and effort into it. What if nobody publishes it? What if it gets rejected and all that thing goes for nothing? Now, if you are into reading, or even if you're not, for instance, you must have heard of Harry Potter, and you must have heard the story behind it. It was rejected 12 times by different publishers, I believe. Harry Potter, yeah. And you have something like, you've all heard of Stephen King, right? That classic author. His first novel, Carrie, was rejected 40 times by different publishers. 40. Can you imagine? Like, one rejection comes in, we get depressed. He was rejected 40 times. Twilight, which became a sensation, was rejected around 14 times by different agents. Some of them never bothered to reply back. Rejection is a part of this journey, and don't be afraid of it. In fact, you should welcome it, because if you get rejected, you're joining an elite club right now of writers who tried, got rejected, and still went for it. So don't take it personally. And nowadays, there are so many options. You can even get it self-published. There's nothing wrong with it. There are a lot of good writers coming out through self-publishing as well, even if traditional publishing doesn't work out. And the best part about writing is that you don't have to be situated in a particular country or a particular state. If your literary agent is in US or UK, what's stopping you from emailing them your book after it's done? Just, there are many options which we can get into in detail during the workshop. The next question which we have is how to plot a novel if you're writing it. Now, there are a couple of terms. I'm sure that if you have attended any writing courses before, you must have heard of them as well. There's the thing called a premise, which is a one line of your idea. That, for instance, in Lagan, it's like a group of farmers led by Bhuvan challenged the Britishers to a game of cricket on which their livelihood and tax depend. Suppose, very roughly, that is the premise of Lagan. One line, which is giving the entire crux of your story. It's a challenge, by the way. A lot of people just think that, ek line hi to hai, but that one line decides your book or your script's destiny in a lot of ways, because that's the first thing that the editor or the executive reads. So that one line is very important. The next stage is synopsis of your book or your script, which is basically, I would recommend, don't keep it beyond 3 pages, because whoever is reading your book is going to be a very busy guy. If it's an executive in a team of creatives under a producer, he's under a lot of pressure, he or she, that you have to read so and so amount of drafts. You have to, come up with something good to the next meeting. If it's an editor, then that editor is receiving almost maybe 30 to 40 book proposals a day. So if you give them a 75-page synopsis or a 50-page synopsis to read, that immediately, imagine it's 5 p.m. I have to go home and now there's this 75-page synopsis in front of me. It's going to be tiring for me. So the first thing to do is to learn the art of brevity, like how to tell the maximum amount of things in a shortest space possible. So I would suggest the premise of this novel, one line, which is your log line or whatever, and then a 2 to 3 page summary of the book. And this is helpful because it also benefits you as a writer, because now at least you know what is the beginning, the middle, and the end of your story. You have a framework which you can follow throughout the course of the journey, because unlike a script or a web series, a book is a very flexible medium. So often the tendency is to, go like this and this during the course of your novel. So at least if you have a dhancha in front of you, a framework, you will know that अच्छा ठीक है ये तो है, at least इतना तो रहना चाहिए मेरे story में. So it's a very helpful measurement tool or a guiding tool for you during the thing. Then after that, a lot of stages follows. I would recommend first trying to plot out your hero's journey. So whatever your protagonist is, what is his experience and journey going to be during the course of the novel. I don't care about the hero's father at this point. I don't care about his puppy or his girlfriend or his or her, whatever, like childhood, whatever, like baggage. I just want to know what is that person going to go through. That one person is my focus during the course of the journey, because once again, to avoid distractions, because otherwise what happens is we feel if he's in a Goregaon society, what are the possibilities? What if in the society there's an auntie ji who lives and the auntie ji has so and so thing? You have suddenly got diverted. So focus on your hero and what that particular journey is going to be like in the idea. The next step is the detailed step outline. It's optional. You don't have to do it. A lot of people don't like to plot out their entire book before they begin it. They like to follow the flow. And a lot of people like to at least make a small framework of what is going to be there. Whether or not you follow it is up to you, obviously, at the end of the day, in terms of a book. And another optional thing to do is to make character sketches of your protagonist and the people around him. The reason this is important is because there are so many shows on vampires. There are so many books on magic, fantasy. There are so many books, thriller books, which are about slashers or possessed lovers. What differentiates each from the other? The characters. Something original that you're telling to them, because there are like a handful of themes in this world, right? So what makes a difference is how relatable or real your characters are. And, what is it that draws draws the reader to them, basically. So you have Harry Potter. He's an orphan. He's living with his evil stepmother, his uncle and aunt. And he's like, oh God, my life is so mediocre. And then boom, Hagrid comes and says you're a wizard. And you want him to succeed. You want Harry to succeed. Magic and all comes later. The fact is, this is a protagonist you relate to. This is a protagonist you want to win in this story. And that's where the link between the reader and the text comes. So it's a good investment in my perspective to look into your character sketches and to know your characters in and out. I just told you it's a very basic overview. When I give my workshop, we'll get into the complete detailing of what makes a character memorable, how to completely detail it out, and even the step outline part of the book, like how you can demarcate and how you can start the process of detailing it. Another question which I received was, how do you get feedback for your first draft? I didn't go to film school. I don't have any contacts in the industry, and I tell short stories from my screenplay to my friends, and they seem to like everything. Of course they do. They're your friends. And how do I create that feedback system? Should I start emailing my favorite writers in the industry and ask them for their feedback? You can. I mean, there's no law against it, but if you ask for my personal opinion, I think those writers would also be busy in their own stuff. So, and plus, maybe they don't want to be involved in somebody else's work to that extent that they wouldn't want to criticize your work, right? So they don't want to tell you whether you're good or bad, because nobody wants the responsibility. But there are certain consistency services nowadays in India. I think you should research on that and rather take a professional's help. So I believe Scriptnights is one for, so that is there. So, and be careful in your research. Like, don't go for frauds and half-baked services. Make sure that it's good and genuine. We're reaching the end now. So as a first-time writer, I feel I have a winner for a web series for the OTT platform. The genre is drama, romance, and comedy. Please suggest a way forward. I think the first thing you should do is decide the genre, because drama, romance, and comedy are three different genres. So I know that there are combinations as well, like you have romantic comedy and you have dramedy, but try to keep it to two things maximum. Like, is it a dramedy? Is it a romantic comedy? Because every rom-com has some amount of drama in it, and every dramedy sometimes has a love angle in it. So what is the dominant genre? Just decide that, because it shows clarity of thought on your side when you're approaching an editor or a executive, that what is the zone of your story. And finally, a personal question for me: what issues do you wish to put forward in your novels? I just like exploring the human psyche. I like humor. I like black humor. I like weird stuff. So that's what I like to do in my books. My first book, Nemia Multiple, it was a story of two psychologically dysfunctional characters who basically get into an agreement, and how they end up growing through it. And it was a very quirky, funny story. My second novel, Charlie Next Door, was a slice of life romance between a 42-year-old widow and her 24-year-old neighbor next door. And this was in the Mumbai Cooperative Housing Society. So I got into a lot of stuff there about, the politics and the whole thing about what you expect from your neighbors and stuff. So it was a very neighborly romance. And my third novel, Tune for the Dead, is a detective fiction novel. So yeah, I just like to push the genres and all. So yeah, but each one of them, there was something that appealed about them to me as a writer, and that's why I was able to complete the journey throughout. So yeah, that's it from my side, and I hope I answered all of your questions adequately.
As you have heard, Debashish is completely brilliant, and he has written a lot of great stuff which are out there and which are out there. And for Script Nights, like for us, we were getting requests for workshops from other writers and from workshops for novelists. And we couldn't think of a better person who has done, because Debashish, as I mentioned before, he has written for TV. He has written for, right now he's writing for web series, and he has written some screenplay also. And he has also written 3 novels for all the writing spectrum you can pick on. And that's a great for a writer, because if you just think that, okay, I'm just going to focus on writing web series, or I'm just going to focus on writing screenplay, sometimes that might not work. So as a writer, Debashish did a great thing, that he opened a new avenue for himself. He was a screenwriter to begin with, but he went to become a novelist. Generally, it happens in reverse, that novelists want to write for films or web series. But here is a web series writer. Here is a screenwriter who has written novels and got them published. Like his TEDx renowned publishers were after him, which is a dream for any writer to be pursued for their work. So, and he also didn't mention one thing, that he is talked about other workshop, but he didn't talk about his own workshop that he's doing, the workshop that is starting from next Sunday. And we associate it with you for that purpose, because there are a lot of people out there talking about writing bestsellers, writing about write your novel in 7 days, write this, you're going to get it published. But the person who has done it successfully for 3 times, and the person who knows the craft really well, who's also a trained writer, I don't think we have a lot of people like that online talking about how to write. So you won't get a class like this, and especially right now when you have a chance to work on a craft, it's very important that you get also expert guidance how to work on your craft. And this is one of the reasons we also started Ask Us Anything, because there are a lot of misinformation online. There are information which are not relevant to the Indian world of screenwriting, Indian world of novel writing. So with this workshop, what we are trying to do is to connect you to the best people, to the best writing experts out there, who will help you and who will mentor you in your journey. Person other than Debashish here, who will teach you not only the tenets of writing, of novel writing, but also will be a great guide for you if you ever want to be a writer for the screen, whether it's web series, TV.
Thank you, Parag, for that very flattering introduction. My pleasure to use my own experiences and my own journey to help make someone else's easier. So, and whatever topics we covered today, they're definitely going to be covered in much more detail during the workshop, because it's going to be 1.5 hours over 4 weekends. So we're going to be touching upon a lot. That much I can assure you of.